Hey, good morning. How's everybody on this fine and wonderful day? I was in here messing around with the old Kruger and made me some tasty, delicious coffee. Sitting and watching the old Wild Wild West from the 60s with William Conrad, I think. Let me pause this stuff real quick so that we don't have all that background noise while I'm trying to chat, right? You're gonna chat? You're gonna have background noise? I can't hear you, fool! Yes, so I wanted to shut that down. But as you can see by the window, maybe you can, I don't know, it's all wet. It's been raining, wind's been blowing. There was snow this morning, and it was nice and cold, and the schools were on a delay and all that good stuff. Tasty coffee. Schools were on a delay due to it all. And I was sitting and thinking, and I said, oh, a dangerous thing for me to do, right, is be thinking. It's dangerous when Ed's got some thoughts on his mind. But anyway, the dogs are pretty pesky, but I didn't want to let them outside. Didn't want them going out the door, because they go out and there's obviously no chance of them not bringing in muddy feet. And then I've got to take and get some paper towels and clean up all the mud and all that stuff, and that's all I get done all day, is babysit these messy dogs. So, but if it keeps somebody from breaking into your house, it's well worth the time. That way you don't have to deal with none of that craziness. So, but anyway, since we're on here, we got to always show some kind of a flintlock, eh? So we got the Murdock. Look at that, isn't it beautiful? Yes, it is. Is it dangerous? No, it don't have a flint in it even. And it don't have a touch hole yet. You know, you look at this, and you know, it's a beautiful piece. Most of them are beautiful pieces, but you got to realize that if you're going online and you're looking to buy a kit to make your own, you got to finish it yourself. Maybe it's a good kit, one that fits together almost perfectly. I've seen some videos where people's bought like the Kibler kit, and it's like, you know, it's nothing to piecing it together. It's just it's a beautiful rifle when you get done with it, and it fits together amazingly. So I've seen that, so that's pretty cool. That's for sure. But the thing about these Indian muskets, you got to remember that, well, let's say I decided that maybe I would just try to skip the middleman and get my Indian muskets from India. How about that, huh? That sounds like a good idea. How much money could I save? So I took off on my adventure, and I headed off to India. Not actually, but I mean on my phone. Not in reality. So I headed off that direction, trying to figure out, now can I buy these Indian muskets and save some money? And I decided to go look for them. Now, you know, if you buy an unfinished kit or whatever for a pistol, it's costing you $350. And some Kentucky kits and stuff like that, unfinished, are costing, you know, that much and more. I mean, if you try to look up a kit costs you as much as one of these Indian-made muskets. It's all ready together, and all you got to do is do a little fine-tuning and stuff. It's like a, well, like people said, it's a kit for the most part. Some of them are really nice and they need nothing, and other ones, well, I don't know. The guy working on it, he must have had a few drinks, huh? Yeah, I don't know. It just don't fit together quite right. I mean, I've got some pretty nice ones, and I've got some that's, oh man, are you kidding me, huh? Not very many of those. The only one I got that I really complain about is the one I like the most. That might be why I'm complaining, eh? Maybe the other one's got some faulties, but I didn't notice it. I didn't notice it because I didn't like them as much, right? So I didn't give them a close inspection. But anyway, let's get to the subject of that. So I looked it up, and I got able to find the armory in India where they're made. And mind you, I'm going to assume that the guys that's bringing these or buying these would be doing the same thing I would be doing at that point. And one of those muskets will cost you, in India, I'm assuming it would be the price without negotiation and stuff like that. And I'm not sure what shipping fees, import charges and stuff like that's going to hit you. But the cost of one of those right out of India is $300. So it's like, wow, 300 bucks, that ain't bad for one of them rifles. No, that's not bad at all. So the issue comes into play when you want one is you can't get one, but you can get 5. So you have to buy these Indian muskets in lots of 5. So, you know, unless you're reselling them or you got customer-based stuff going on and everything, for you to buy 5 of the same musket, probably, you know, going to be kind of expensive. But hey, I don't know, you know, maybe the shipping's not that much. I mean, I didn't get any farther than that. I just knew that I didn't want to buy 5 of one musket to get them for $300 a piece, right? So, needless to say, they are well worth what you pay for them. And I know the pistols, they're not making much on those. If I remember correctly, the pistols, the rifles, everything pretty much was $300. I don't think there was a difference in them. I think you just had to buy 5 of whatever you wanted. I don't think there was any, like, pistols weren't no cheaper. Not what I've seen anyway. So I thought I'd throw that out there while I was sitting there thinking about it, because I was going to try to get into the business myself. At one point I was thinking about it, but then I thought, you know what? I don't have no internet here, and I'd have to have a website and all that stuff. So you'd be setting up a regular business, huh? And you'd be competing with people who's, you know, at the minimum pricing on that stuff anyway. Because, you know, if you go to a flea market or whatever, or if you're in business for yourself, the cost of business is, let's say, anything you get. You buy something for $20, you need to resell it for 40, you know? And sometimes even, it depends on your overhead costs and stuff, you might even have to go higher. But most businesses I tried to get into and everything, turns out that I could break even or lose money most of the time. So I'm like, why am I going to work all year so I can break even or lose money? You know, oh, just write it off your taxes. Why would I want to do that? Why not just, you know, work for somebody else and you know, just live, you know, enjoy yourself. Get your paycheck, do your thing, save what you can, back for the rainy day. No point in trying to go in business for yourself, because that's a 24-hour thing. You got to be ready to go 24 hours a day. It's always on your mind. Taking care of business and stuff. Customer complaints and whatever that come up. So, but, yep, that's what I know about it, trying to get into it myself, and I didn't do it. But been having a pretty good time with them and everything, messing around. I want to go outside and play, but hey, like you saw it, it's nothing but rainy day, damp and drizzly. And there's no sense in going out and getting all frustrated trying to crack off the old powder when you know it ain't going to crack too good. You know. So, well, something else I was sitting and thinking about too, that people don't seem to understand a lot. Because, well, I just don't know. They just don't get the picture. When we started out with messing around with what we could get a hold of. We had a couple traditions, flintlocks my son brought to us, trying to get me into flintlocks. By God, he got her done, did he? Yes, he did. Excuse me. And we don't know nothing. And the only kind of powder you can get, or we've got, is I had some powder my mother gave me from my dad's stuff since he passed. And it was, of course, Pyrodex and that kind of thing. And so we tried using that. Oh, what a fiasco that was. You know, homemade powder and Pyrodex in the barrel, it works pretty good. It works real good with a percussion cap. There's some videos of me shooting a Hawkins. I got a rope stuck in it with a rag, and that's using homemade powder, and you can see that it works pretty good. But when it comes to that pan, now that's a different story. You need some good, dry, snappy powder. And Schutzen works really good. I think maybe Schutzen's cleaner and maybe even better than GoX, I would say. I think GoX is a little bit dirtier because we've used some of that. And I don't know if we used any Swiss. I keep saying Swiss, but we got Schutzen. And it's a good powder. It's a really good powder. It leaves a white film on stuff you might want to wipe off. Might be picked up because of the bits of oil from the WD-40 and stuff that I put on my muskets to keep them from rusting up on me. I guess maybe, and then I wiped them down with rubbing alcohol before I played with one day, and I'll tell you what, it makes a big difference. So what happens with them, if they got some kind of oily resin or something like that on them. When that flint strikes the top of that frizzen, it throws a bunch of sparks on the initial hit, and it throws them out, around, and over the pan. And as it scrapes down, it loses its connection. And by the time it gets down to the pan where it's supposed to throw some sparks into the pan, they don't really have too much right there then at that time. You know, you see the initial, oh, it's sparking, yeah, but it's not dragging it down the steel like it's supposed to, and then dropping it in the pan because of some oily residue or whatever. So if you oil your barrel up and all that kind of stuff, I think after the barrel starts getting warm, some of that oil might start seeping a bit out of the steel, and then make things a little gummy for you. So if you got some rubbing alcohol and you can wipe that stuff down, might make for a little better ignition and stuff. It's one of them things you don't think about. Yeah, but yeah, I got a cough. I didn't have a cough, but I got one now. I hadn't had it all morning until I started filming. So it must have something to do with me running me chops, right? So anyway, I seen a picture on a video where a guy showed a flintlock, and he showed the bottom cover part of it. He had it labeled, and it said frizzen, and then the part sticking up, which, you know, is the surface that the cock comes and slides down and scrapes off the steel. He called it steel. So one part with two names, you know, the hinge and the cover is called a frizzen part, and then up from the top is the steel. So I would say it's probably where it was case hardened, so that would be steel on the other side. So it's actually two elements there, would it be? I don't know. You tell me, huh? You tell me. Would it be two things? Because you take a frizzen, you case harden it with carbon to make it where it makes great sparks. You're applying steel to it. So yes, it would be two parts right there. The steel on top of the frizzen, where it scrapes down and makes the spark. Yes. Well, anyway, I was thinking about that stuff. I didn't know. Don't rant and rave. Don't rant and rave now. Right. I didn't want to rant and rave over something silly. But yeah, I didn't want to go throw on some costumes and do something. And I thought, no, it's raining and wet outside. And I would enjoy a walk and talk, but oh well, you can just sit here and talk and yak and run your chops, eh? You know, sit here and you can show people, it says, yeah, these are all sold out again, believe it or not. They had them, they didn't have them, they didn't have them, didn't have them, then they got them, then they had them, then they didn't, then they had them, then they didn't, then they had them, then they didn't, didn't have them, didn't have them, didn't have them, didn't. That's right. So sometimes they're hard to get a hold of. But if you can get one, by cracky, they're pretty nice. I think they'll be lasting you for a long, long time. And you can shoot them if you want to. This one here, I've done nothing with it since I received it, so it's as is. Except polish it. I took some paper towels and a little bit of WD-40 and wiped her down real good, get the fingerprints and everything off of it. And she's looking pretty nice. So I'd like to build me a case for it, and that would be pretty cool, huh? Because it's just nice and small and convenient. It's not super small, but it's smaller than a lot, right? And it's pretty wild how it's made out of all solid steel. I mean, my goodness, that is some really tell you honestly, that's some craftsman work there, guys. That is amazing, really. That is some amazing craftsmanship. Just outrageous, you know. And for the price of what it cost, I mean, you can get a kit for that, for Traditions or whatever. I think that stuff is, you know, expensive for kits and whatever you got to do yourself or whatever. And hobbies and things have become so outrageously expensive, nobody can afford to do them. My goal is to basically introduce this stuff as I see it, and maybe to throw in some good word from our maker and creator, Jehovah God in heaven. He's looking down and blessing us, and some of us are going through really rough and tough times, and I guess if that's the case, the situation becomes more about you and how you handle things, you know. Sometimes the person you've lost, and believe you me, I've lost plenty. I'm at that age where I know more people passed on than I do people that's walking around. That's pretty sad, right? But Yeah, it's not about them anymore. They've got their salvation. It's about me and keeping mine and making sure I do what's right. So I want to do that. And with that being said, we want to thank everybody for tuning in and saying, "Hey Ed, how you doing, man?" "Oh, Ed's doing pretty good. He's not doing too bad. He's doing all right. He's doing all right." Hey, I'd also worked on something that, in case y'all, I got a kick out of something I watched where some little kid asked why all the folks that portray the 18th century have white hair. But anyway, your hair tends to, if you got irony water, which we do, but your hair tends to turn yellow if you have iron in your water. So I don't know, does mine look yellow to you? Is there yellowness on me hair? Does my hair look yellow? Does my hair look yellow to you, mate? Well, I know it did, but I watched some videos on how to get rid of yellow in your hair, and there were some pretty complicated ones. And then there was somebody who come up with like a home remedy, the easy peasy way to do it for those who have nothing to pay for fancy hair care stuff. So, and what they did was they soaked their head for about 20 minutes or 30 minutes in a solution of shampoo and hydrogen peroxide. So I thought I'd try that. And I did, and you might have to do it 3 or 4 times, but hey, guess what? I didn't see, personally, I don't see yellowness in my hair. It might be a little salt and peppery, but I don't see yellow, and it was looking kind of yellow, and that looks kind of dirty to me, so I didn't like it. I'm like, oh, I'm going to have to cut off this hair. It's getting all yellow. But now I think I can fix the problem, huh? Yes, you can fix the problem. I take some peroxide, and I just wet my hair with it, and then let it set and get in the shower and take some shampoo and shampoo it, huh? Yep, a little shampoo. Or you can take the shampoo and peroxide and mix it together and put it on. But the main thing is get some of that peroxide in your hair so that it'll rinse out the old orange and yellow nasty color that you didn't want. You want your hair white. You want it to be beautiful and white and pretty, eh? But yes, you do. But it could have a yellow tinge to it. I don't know. But I'll keep doing that. And it does look, I believe it do look better than it did, because it was pretty yellow once it gets so long. And it's been in the water so much. Because we have orange water here, just like everybody else all the way down through here. This whole valley is nothing but orange water. That's right. Tons of iron and sulfur and nastiness. It stinks, it does. Yes, it does. Nasty water. And I'm sure they got that all over the country too, you know. Nasty. But hey, what can you do, huh? Get you a filter and start filtering your own water and cleaning it and taking care of it so that you don't have that nasty, smelly water. But hey, I was enjoying some of the Wild Wild West. Some of the old shows is pretty good. Pretty good. A lot of fun. I can't show you how the old Murdock will spark, because obviously it ain't put no flints in it, hey? I should put a flint in it, but it's so pretty and the prison is so nicely polished, I might not want to put a scratch on it, eh? Right? I didn't know. I mean, geez, you bought it, you probably ought to use it, right? Take it out and play with it. It is a 52 caliber, so yes, you could have some fun, huh? But it's totally different than the rest of them. I didn't think I would, I didn't know what I'd think about it. I don't know if I was a fan when I first got it or not, but it's pretty cool, right? Not too shabby. Not too shabby, not too shabby, right? So if you got some of that stuff, you got any questions or whatever, or anything, you can shoot me a quick message. I'll tell you what I know. It might be good, it might be right, it could be wrong, it could need a little tune-up, who knows? But whatever I know that I think is the truth, I'll lay it on to you and tell you what I think or what my ideas are, or maybe refer you to somebody who does know. That's the best way to do it, right? Yes. All right. Well, we sat here, we got some coffee and all that good stuff, and I just had a tasty sausage with sauerkraut on it that we got it from Sam's Club. It was really good and delicious. I ate that. And yeah, I should have filmed it, huh? It was really good. I liked it. It was a nice juicy sausage. It was. It's what they make those kielbasa and krauts. I don't think it was a kielbasa, but it was pretty darn close to being a kielbasa. I'll tell you that. So well, I'm hoping everybody's enjoying their day, or at least having as good a time as they can. For those of you who are in need and having issues and things going on with the family, we offer our prayers that everything goes good for you, that our Father, Jehovah God in heaven, gives you blessings and guides you and takes care of you and makes sure that your needs are met and that you find and be able to you know, enjoy your life. I know losses of folks and stuff like that's pretty tough, but you know, life is as it is. So can't be too careful, huh? That's why I stay home. I said, I'm not going out. I only went out one time one year and somebody crashed into me, huh? Yeah. And the rest of the time, you know, what's the point? You know, if you don't have to go somewhere and it's not for any reason, maybe I ought to stay home. You got to learn to listen to the right voices in your head. The one that said, I think I'm just going to stay home. You know, because I've had that happen before. I was going to go away, and then I thought I decided not to, but I don't know for sure if I did or not. But I didn't go, and guess what? If I would have, it would have been a major catastrophe. So I was fortunate that I didn't do it. I stayed home, took it easy, enjoyed myself. But I'm supposed to keep these videos down to about 10 minutes, but look at this one's went over double, huh? Sitting here yakking away. But this will probably be the only one that well, maybe not. Who knows? I might get up and do something else. You never know what old Ed's going to get into, right? Sometimes he's walking up and down the driveway. He's talking, blah, 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 yakking. He might say something important, but most of the time, no. It's all Borklatsky, huh? You're going to fill your whole hat. Fill your hat. Here, give me a pound of crap. Right? Right in your old cappy, do. Load you right up. That's right. Load you up with crapsky. So, anyway. Hey, why don't you leave me a message and say, hey, you know what we're having for supper tonight? And then tell me what you're having, you know. Maybe I'll say, oh, that sounds really good. And I'll whip me up some of it too. Because I got all kinds of stuff. I've got the beautiful pile of red Pontiac potatoes here. Can you see them? Look down. And I got some apples. And there's some kind of, I suppose it's angel food cake and some cookies. Excuse me. So I won't be starving, that's for sure. But I love my potatoes. I love potatoes and carrots and in a stew. It's so delicious, right? I keep thinking about trying to figure out how I can get me a log cabin, you know, so you can have a fireplace and cook some fresh food over the fireplace and some stew. I see folks doing that, enjoying themselves and having a good time. So if you can get into that and you can do it, then you're blessed. See, you got blessings you didn't even know about, huh? You get to go out and camp. I can't hardly stay outside, or I get all congested and I got all kinds of stuff going on. So being outside and dampness and stuff like that is not my friend. So I have to watch what I'm doing. But some people can get out and play and all that stuff. I used to be able to when I was younger. I'd go out and play around and goof off and have a good old time outside. I love the outdoors. I love the woods. I love to be in the woods. The woods give me peace and tranquility. Yeah, they did. And I loved it. But I don't get out in the woods like I used to. I especially loved high windy days, being in the pine forest. It's real thick where the wind is blocked out from the pines. You can hear it on the outside of the pine forest, but it doesn't affect you on the inside. So I used to have a nice pine forest when I was growing up as a kid. You could go into the middle of in any kind of weather, and it was always warm and toasty there, and the pine needles were like knee deep. So it was really cool. Enjoyed that very, very much. It was the perfect sanctuary, if you should use such a word, for the place to hang out, to where you'd be safe and everything, you know. Surprisingly, the deer and stuff never really went in there. You'd go in there and there's a lot of dead limbs and stuff like that from the pine trees you'd have to cut off. These pine trees were, oh my goodness, what's it, 40, 50 feet tall? They were huge. Yeah, but they covered everything. The whole thing was just nothing but pine needles. So it was fun. I enjoyed that. So yeah, deer, nothing went in there. They didn't. It was like he was like the only one ever went into that area. So you see nothing in there, no tracks, no nothing. They go around it, but they never went into it. So, and we got in there and sawed off some limbs and made us a little camping spot right in the middle of it and sat down and enjoy ourselves. I don't ever remember building any fires in there though, but it might be a good thing because all them pine needles, it could have been bad news, huh? But you could get in there and it was so toasty warm, you didn't need any fires or anything like that. And we didn't really, if we took something, it would have been something that was already cooked or whatever for a snack or whatever, if we even did take any snacks up in there and play around as we were growing up as kids. So it was a beautiful, beautiful thing to be able to enjoy. Yep, it sure was. All right, well, let me sign off here and say, like I said, everybody, hope you're having a great day. And I'll fire up another video here. And, you know, if you keep subscribing and watching the videos, you're going to encourage me to be silly and make more videos, right? And yeah, I'll do it. You know, yes, I will. I got a message to send out too, so hopefully it's a good message. That's what I want to do. I want to try to help people to enjoy theirself and maybe take up the hobby of flintlocks and enjoy everything. And you know, maybe you get one that don't cost too much right now, and later on you get you something a little more expensive or something more to your taste that you really like. But it's the initial first one you get is where the fever comes in and you start to get the sickness. And then you're like, oh, I love the flintlocks. And then when you learn how they work and everything, and things just keep getting better, more enjoyable, and, you know, it's just a slower pace hobby than what a lot of this stuff is, especially compared to modern firearms. So, well, hey, enjoy your day. I've said goodbye I don't know how many times, but now I've got to mean it, right? Got to mean it.